One of my biggest regrets in life so far that I really wish I wouldn't have spent years believing is the concept that if you love yourself, if you put in the work, if you act as if you think positively enough, then you are going to be rewarded with your dream relationship. I genuinely believed this for years and years of my life, to the point where I dedicated my life for about 3 to 4 years doing everything I possibly could to, I guess, manifest my dream relationship. Well, newsflash, still not in my dream relationship. And it breaks my heart thinking about how much time I spent improving myself and thinking that I wasn't good enough just because I thought that I was going to be rewarded with a partner. And it actually makes me pretty angry when I see people on the internet preaching that these are the things that you need to do to attract a healthy, loving, committed relationship.
You're not getting anywhere with modern manifestation jargon because it's taught by spiritual infants that had a half-baked awakening 2 years ago and think that they can run a course through ChatGPT, get you to comment manifest underneath a video, and they can make $100,000 or $200,000 off of people that don't know better. Okay? If you want to know what manifestation is and you want to know the truth about who you are, then this is the video for you. Manifestation, as it's taught currently, is devoid of the meat of Gnosticism behind it. And it's devoid of that because you have to have tasted the true reality in order to teach from the point of view of the true reality. So let's try to get into it. There's only one thing that you know for sure, and that is that you are. You're not really sure who you are or where you are or how you got here or anything else, but you know that you are. That's called the I am. Awareness. Awareness is the fundamental first principle in existence. Objects don't have consciousness. Consciousness has objects. Okay? Your body appears in your conscious awareness. All of your thoughts appear inside your conscious awareness. Everything that you've ever known, every experience, every sensation, every belief, every opinion, every thought, every action, every maneuver of the body has all appeared within conscious awareness. Let's come at this video from your own direct experience. We have to go on the assumption that nothing comes from nothing. So seeing how you're having the experience that you are, you must be something. So at some point you were being without knowing. Pre-birth. Consciousness that had not yet been reflected back on itself. Spontaneously, without reason or cause. Consciousness appears on the face of the absolute awareness. What does that mean? It means that from the infinite mind, a spontaneous focalization happens and it focalizes into a finite mind. Consciousness is reflected back on itself through the mechanism of mind, the mirror of mind. It dawns on itself in the first thought, I am. As soon as there is the thought, I am, there is that infinite luminous awareness has become an object to itself. I am births you are. And there we have duality, me and you, us and them, here and there. And as soon as there is one point that has objectified itself, it then looks out at a universe of other objects. Therein lies the Big Bang. I am, the thought I am, is the Big Bang. Because as soon as there is a focalized entity that has become an object to itself, it then lives in a world of other objects. And that births the distance between objects and the time it takes to traverse them. So we're not living in a universe where time and space are absolutes. We are living in a realm of perception where time and space are dependent upon you being an object to yourself. The luminous awareness then begins to bear witness to the activity of consciousness in the form of infinite thoughts, and starts to take the infinite thoughts and the activity of consciousness and the input from the other objects personally. And it starts to adhere to thoughts like, I am this person, I am that. I am good enough. I am not good enough. I am this. I am that. Layering of qualities over the luminous, qualityless light of awareness. As I've touched on this page 1,000 times before, when you take a clear light and you layer colored gel after colored gel after colored gel in the form of thoughts, feelings, sensations, beliefs, assumptions, when you layer millions of these colored gels over the light of awareness, and that the light of that awareness shoots through these colored gels, it projects a hologram. And that's the world you live in. That's the matrix. The matrix is thought. Period. End of story. That's why there is only the subjective experience. Okay, science, quantum physics, they're slowly coming around to it. You cannot take a flying leap over the fact that you can never escape the subjective in search of an objective world. There isn't one. There's only the world that you create through the assumption of thoughts, feelings, sensations, beliefs, and any other sensory data that the clear, luminous, qualityless light of awareness assumes onto itself, shines through, and projects a hologram that it then lives in. Okay? So the current conversation around manifestation has to do with changing out the thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions, belief systems that the light of awareness is shining through in order to change the hologram. Okay? That's the theory behind manifestation, except there's one problem. In the creation of this holographic reality, prior to the I thought that became an object to itself, that then birthed the Big Bang of time and space, infinite time and space, because that's the reflection of what it actually is. Okay? Prior to it becoming an object to itself, it was the entirety. It was both the perceiver and that which was perceived in one thing. And it still is the one thing, except in the experience of the focalized finite mind. The infinite mind, which is inseparable from the finite mind, doesn't have the reality of duality. It's the entirety. So the perceiver, you, the finite object, wants to change that which it is perceiving, but you can't do that because they're one and the same. You cannot separate the perceiver and the perception. They're 2 points of the same consciousness. In that realization, there in and of itself, you have destroyed the notion that you are the thinker, the doer, the manifestor. You're not the thinker, the doer, the manifestor. You're the witness. Not only are you the witness, you are the top of the triad, the Holy Trinity: perceiver, perceived, perception. The all-seeing eye, baby. You are that, focalized into a perceiver that gives birth to its perception. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You're the entire functioning. So thoughts like, I can't manifest my dream job, or why doesn't any man love me, or why can't I find a girlfriend, or stuff like this, those are thoughts that occlude the God that you are, having the experience of duality. That's what this life is, the experience of the tree, of the knowledge of good and evil, duality. But you are the entirety. So if you want to have the experience of doing shadow work, looking deeply into your psyche and bringing to light the unconscious thought patterns as transparencies that have been projected into the hologram that you are now living within, then you should do that for the experience of doing it, not for the reward that's on the other side of doing it. Do it because you can. Do it because you're the all-seeing eye that gets to see the entirety. But don't forget for a single moment who you are. This is not just conjecture. This is clearly available for anyone to know as their direct experience, and you have to do that through a process of negation. In Hindu traditions, it's called neti neti, which means not this, not this. It's the discarding of anything perceivable or conceivable. If it's perceivable in the physical realm or conceivable in the mental realm, you can't be that, so discard it. You are that which is prior to all perception that requires the senses to confirm it. That's who you really are. I'm not negating the relative experience. It's so easy to get caught up in the thought, God, I would really just love someone that sees me and chooses me and wants to love me. But you have to ask who it is that wants that. I so want to be seen and loved is a thought had by the I thought. It's a thought had by another thought. Who are you? The eternal witness. Do not ever forget who you are. Do not ever forget that this was free. You don't have to pay. I was just telling a friend this the other day, it rubs me the wrong way that people want to charge you. And he said, well, I would argue that it didn't come to you for free. You paid dearly for what you know. Okay, fine. Maybe I did. This is free. Don't forget who you are. You are the infinite one. Act like it.